Hello guys, today I am joined by the amazing Jourds.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, things have been amazing recently. I've been in the best spirit possible.
Love that.
And yeah, really good start of the year, and I feel like I'm proper like in my groove.
Yes.
Like I'm feeling it.
Okay. Yes, that's energy we want.
I'm feeling it.
Speaking of feeling it, I was feeling your performance on our most recent video.
Oh my god.
How did you find your first? Because it's not the last.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Do you know what? It was such a good experience. Like at first you can, you know, you can overthink it sometimes. You're thinking, right, I've got to do this, I've got to sing at the same time of doing these steps. Tuck the belly in at the same time, because girl ain't trying to not have no guts. And so I was trying to do all these things at the same time, but do you know what? When you just let go of your inhibitions and you let it work, then
and you let it work.
We let it work.
Nicki Minaj was in the building.
She was there. But yeah, like when you literally just leave all your issues at home, don't overthink it, and just come in and bring your A game, then everything else just falls into place.
It really, it definitely
like the
falls into
outfits.
you. You did Speaking of falling into place, that's one way I guess you wouldn't describe your career, because you've been doing this for time. So it's not just that, I guess you could say fall into place, but maybe people might misread that as it just came to you and it didn't. So one thing, I don't think I've ever even asked you this, like, how did you get into presenting and then the whole transition of like voiceover? Voiceover queen over here, by the way, in case you don't know.
Do you know what? It's actually been a long time coming. I started off doing radio. I think I saw a certificate the other day because I went on to a Bauer media course that was free at the time in 2015.
Okay.
So that's 8 years ago that I decided like this was a career path that I wanted to go down. So done that course, and then from then onwards kind of like started edging myself into radio, and then everything kind of just fell into place along the way. I always knew presenting and doing kind of TV work was where I wanted to end up. Everything else have just been kind of skills that I've acquired along the way to reaching that step. So, I mean, it's almost been like, what, a decade of me being in the game.
You have been.
I've been putting in that shift, and I feel like now it's starting to prevail and things are starting to really take pace. And I think if anything, you know, people can get really disheartened when it comes to things like that and wondering when it's going to happen for them. But if you want it enough and you continue to put your grind in, it will happen.
And that's the one thing I've always seen in you, like even before, because when did we meet? It was like a few Decembers ago, probably.
And then when you came on the show,
but I've always seen you. That's the thing. I've always seen you working, and always seen you're a good person. That's like, one of my favorite things to do is give you a flat. Like I think when we first met, we had like an emotional.
Yeah, we did. We had a deep conversation. But you know, and you literally made me cry.
Yeah.
Because you know, you can be grinding and working so hard for so many years, and you forget to pat yourself on the back sometimes, and you also forget, you know, to keep telling yourself how good you are and this is why you're doing it and all these things. And so sometimes when you hear it from somebody else who takes time out of their day to say, Jourds, do you know what, you're doing fucking good, you're a good person, you're doing good, it kind of, you know, it makes you take a step back to go, do you know what, sometimes I'm a little bit hard on myself, like let me just give myself some credits.
And I saw that
thank
in
you.
you and relate, because like people may not know, like I started YouTube like back when I was like 16, so 14 years ago. So it's like, was I grinding as hard then? Maybe not, it was just fun. But I know what it's like to put in work. And I was like, sometimes give people their flowers that deserve it. Because another thing, I don't think we've even spoken about this, and this is when I was like, nobody can come and say anything to me about Jourds. I know she's a good person. We were at the TikTok Black, like not this year, but the year before.
Yeah. This is Black,
and there was a girl that you were presenting, did an amazing job presenting that day too, killed it. And there was a girl there that I was meeting for the first time that I knew, and I was in the middle of talking with you, and then I had to run off and do something. And you spent the rest of your free time walking around with her. And you didn't even end up. And you know, there's people in the industry that can be a bit funny. If I don't know you, I'm not gonna.
Do you know what? Like, I think, you know, being yourself, being positive, being friendly is always, you know, first of all, like, it should always come from the heart, regardless. But people are people, and like, why wouldn't you want to be nice to everybody that's around you? Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, negative and bad news spreads quicker than good news. So if you're gonna rock up to places thinking that you're the bee's knees and come with attitude and all this stuff, that's the lasting impression that people are going to leave with about you. And so I just rock up to situations just as myself, be friendly, be hospitable, smile on my face. I'm there to do a good job and make everybody feel happy. I think is one of my main ethoses, and so I try and stick to that, especially when I'm working, but outside of work as well.
Even just, and it's so, because you never know who you might meet. Like that girl, she was just somebody I know through the Ghana community. But who knows, she could have been like the head of BET, and you never know the people who are working behind the scenes. So you would have just spent your time with her chilling. She's like, oh, she's so nice. Then you go on stage, host, and kill it, and she'd be like, let me get her on BET, right?
This is it, and I think you can forget, or people can forget in general, especially when things are so fast paced in this industry and things are happening all the time. But you've always got to stay true to yourself. Always have to do things with a smile on your face and be grateful ultimately, because even having that spark about you is going to be one of the reasons why people book you back. And also people read through bullshit as well. You're going to be able to tell if that person's a rotten egg, then that person is a rotten egg. 100%.
Because you have been nice to me and then rotten to that next girl. Like,
and they'll go and speak that business. And so as I said, I try to make sure that any environment, any scenario that I'm in, I'm bringing my A game, putting a smile on my face, making people feel welcome, and making sure that I leave with the people that employed me saying, we want to work with her again.
Exactly.
We want to work with her again. And so that's me.
That's good. And then so how did the voiceover work come about then?
Voiceovers was just something that was again a natural progression. A friend of mine, she got into voiceovers and was telling me about it, and I thought, oh, this sounds good. This sounds like a bit of me. And so I just decided to do like a training course and got involved in it, got rejected, doors closed in my face when I first started to try and get like agents and stuff. But I think, I think God's timing has been really key, I think, in my career. And I think quite often I feel like I'm ready at that time in order to get an agent or to be on this radio station, be on Capital or be presenting on ITV. And I feel like the timing has been as long as it has been for me to learn and to grow as a presenter, as a host, as a radio personality, and really get myself in the best position possible. So with voiceovers, got involved into it, and I think it was about 8 months or so until I managed to get an agent. Now been with them for about 3 years now, and it's been an absolute blessing. And everything's kind of gone at its own pace, but it's all made sense. Like standing here now and looking back on it, I'm like, the timing's made sense for when it all happened.
And it's been so cool to watch, and it's like, because it's not just voiceovers you're like training people, helping them, showing people how you do it, and it's so unique to your style. Other people may try and copy, but they can't duplicate, right?
Just like your stuff, girl. Just like you. Do you know what? There's always going to be that. I think no matter what field you're going to be in, there's always going to be people that are inspired by you in a real positive way. And unfortunately, some people are going to try and take what it is that you do and do it themselves or whatever. But you've just got to stay focused, haven't you? You've just got to think to yourself, there's a reason why people go to you. There's a reason why people gravitate towards you doing. And I think ultimately, the people that have been following your journey, they're going to know where it came from. First,
exactly. Exactly, 100%.
And so that's what I try to tell myself mainly, I would say.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Jourds. You killed it. And guys, if you haven't already, first of all, check out our video, because we put our heart, soul,
blood, sweat, and tears,
wigs,
everything
into that video.
Wigs going in, lip gloss, wigs sliding back, feet going like this, everything.
Slipping and sliding.
Girl.
But yes, and also follow Jourds. Where can they find you if they're not
At
already?
Jourds _, so JOURDS _. I almost forgot how to even spell my name.
Do you know it's like you can type it, but then when you
yeah. I start seeing it in my head. But yeah, JOURDS _.
There we go. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching, guys.
Thank you.